Hi guys, welcome to this video. Today we're doing a Q&A. We announced it a couple weeks ago and we received plenty of questions from you. Today we'll try to answer as many of them as possible. All of the questions are about Pixie and Bluebell, two Ragdolls that we have, and we had them for about 2 years. So I think it's fair to say that we've had fair share of experience with these guys.
We did 2 Q&A videos in the past already, so we will link them below for you if you want to check them out as well. And we also did a separate video where we answered the most frequently asked questions about raw feeding as well. So if you are interested in that, definitely check this video out as well. In the video in which we announced the Q&A video, we also announced our engagement, and we got so many messages and comments from you guys congratulating us, so thank you very much.
The first question is, how many hours per day do Pixie and Bluebell sleep?
What's your answer?
I would say about 23. They wake up for food, cuddles, and walking on the desk and trying to get a pencil from the holder. That's what Bluebell is doing right now.
I would say it's more, it's easier to answer how long they're awake for, so I would say probably maybe 8 hours at max. So
yeah, I don't think
they probably sleep about 16 hours per day. So if you just reverse a human cycle, that would probably be a cat life cycle.
yeah, quite a nice life to have, right? How do you wash them or keep them clean?
So I think they do a pretty good job with cleaning themselves. We got a lot of these questions like if we bathe our cats and like how often and stuff like that. We have never given them a bath. It's not necessary to give your cat a bath unless they actually get themselves really dirty, so they get themselves in some mud or something like that, or if they have an accident in a litter box. But other than that, they do a really good job cleaning themselves. They do clean themselves a lot, literally like before sleep, after food, after play.
Before food, before sleeping, after sleeping.
So cats are very clean. You don't need to bathe them.
What made you pick 2 different genders?
So because we were getting 2 cats, we decided that it would be nice to have a boy and a girl, just because we can then have an experience of like having 2 different cats and 2 different personalities. That's what we were hoping for, and that's definitely something that we got.
Yeah, they definitely are a lot different, and it for sure has something to do with the gender. So yeah, well, we'll go on to how they are in more detail a little bit later on. There's plenty of questions about that. Do you have tips on how to best socialize a new kitten, which is only 14 weeks old?
So we were very lucky when we got our kitten. They were already very well socialized from the time that they spent with the breeder. So we never had any issues with like hoovering next to them or like TV or things like that. But I think it's just it comes down to the time that you spend with the kitten. So you need to make sure that you are with them a lot. And if they are still scared of some things, make sure that they are comfortable when you're doing them. So for example, at the beginning, if Matt was hoovering, I would pick Pixie up and just hold her in my arms and like comfort her a little bit. And now they literally just like...
You can hoover around them and they wouldn't move a tail. How have they evolved from kitten to now in terms of personalities?
So they have changed a little bit, but I would say looking back, I can see like things that we've seen in them that made them Pixie and Bluebell now. You know what I mean? Like Pixie is definitely a little bit more scared of the unknown. So like if a stranger comes in, she's a little bit more reserved, and that's how she was with us to start with. But she has definitely become a lot more confident and a lot more trusting. So she loves a cuddle, and recently she actually started to sit on our lap as well a little bit, which is very strange.
We were on a Zoom call with a friend, and she just came on the sofa and kind of laid her butt on me and her front paws on Mon's knees, and she was just sitting there just
like
sleeping
across us, and we were just so shocked because
she never does that.
Very strange. So I would say Pixie definitely got a lot more confident. And
Bluebell got even more confident. He was never scared of anything. He was always the one to be first, to discover something, first to meet new people, check things out, and first to get in trouble. He's still first to get in trouble and first to do everything.
I would say maybe not necessarily their personalities evolved as much. They just got more trusting, and then we also got to know them a lot better. So we can predict their behaviors a lot of the time, and we know what they would do in each situation.
Yeah, that's actually quite cute sometimes. Since you have 2 cats, do they want to be around you a lot or just each other?
So this is very interesting because when we first visited our breeder, she mentioned that because they have so many cats, they're more pack animals and they don't spend that much time with humans. But we haven't really noticed that quality in Pixie and Bluebell. They do sleep together sometimes, they do play together, they fight sometimes as well.
But more often than not, they actually seek our time and our attention, like a lot.
Individually.
Yeah. So like Bluebell, he always sleeps in bed. He always sleeps in the corner of the bed every single night, no failure. He always comes in for cuddles around 3 p.m. when I get back from work. Pixie comes for cuddles around 6 p.m. every day.
And 5 a.m.
Yeah, and 5 a.m. Yes.
When Matt gets for work.
So they definitely need our attention regardless. But on the other hand, they also do spend time together, and they play fight, they clean each other and do the siblingy stuff, obviously. So it's a bit of both. Okay, so the next question actually really nicely ties into the one that we just answered. Can you compare getting 2 cats versus just 1? Is it really unhealthy for a cat to be alone at home?
So I wouldn't say it's completely unhealthy and something you should never do. But if you are out for longer periods of time, it's definitely nice for cats to have a companion. And I feel so much better leaving 2 cats alone than thinking about like leaving 1 cat on its own. I'm sure they feel a lot better about it. And also, when we first got them, they settled in really quickly. So we didn't have any issues with them hiding from us or anything like that. And I think it's partly due to the fact that they were together, so it was less stressful experience for them.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to get 1 cat and you leave for longer periods of time, naturally, if they get used to it, they will most likely sleep during this time when you're not in. But it also comes with the fact that you will have to accept that when you do get home, you will have to invest quite a lot of time to entertain them and stimulate them. So lots of playtime, lots of cuddles and brushing and all this. You will have to put in a lot more time in than you would with 2 cats, I think, in my opinion. When 2 ragdolls get along well to begin with, should it stay that way over time? Yes, I think so. If cats get along, I believe there shouldn't be any problems over time unless something happens. But it's also totally okay if they play fight from time to time. We can definitely see that Pixie and Bluebell definitely play fight from time to time, and there might be occasions where Pixie gets a little bit more upset because she's slightly overdramatic. For example, when Bluebell sits in front of her and she just starts meowing at him and hissing. It happens, but that doesn't mean that they should be aggressive towards each other.
Do you want me to swap now?
No, it's fine.
No,
you can say about this one because you're home more now. Okay. Do Pixie and Bluebell have a regular daily routine?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, totally.
So, yes, and their routines are slightly different to each other. So, in the morning, Matt gets up for work really early, and Pixie always gets up with him. And she's so cuddly first thing in the morning, you have to give her a lot of attention.
It's hard to get up, actually.
Yeah, whereas Bluebell stays in bed and literally there is nothing that can get him up at this time in the morning.
If you watched any of our vlogs, you would have seen that Bluebell is always in bed until like 11 or 12. That's why we never make her bed, because he just doesn't leave it. And this isn't just like for show or anything. He just does that every time.
Yeah, there is some occasions where he would get up early and then I would be like, what are you doing?
What's happening?
And then he would just like go back to bed like 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing. And then we do give them food at similar times during the day. So in the morning it does depend because again, with Bluebell sleeping so long and Pixie getting up so early, it just depends if we feel like she's hungry before he gets up. But in the afternoon, they always hungry around 5 p.m. And then around like 9 p.m. we also give them a little bit of food just before we go to bed as well. In terms of playtime, they are most playful at the evening as well.
Yeah, most cats would be, I suppose.
Yeah. So like at dusk and dawn, that's where they hunt, apart from Bluebell in the morning.
He's not a morning cat.
But that's, that in the evening is like the most playful time. That's when we play with them. And yes, I think that's that. And then at night, as we mentioned, Bluebell sleeps at the edge of the bed, and Pixie is usually sleeping just next to the bed. So if we put like the big cushions on the floor next to the bed, she would sleep next to them. Or if there is like a piece of clothing on the floor, that's where she would sleep.
Your view on flea and worm treatment.
So we have covered that a little bit in our recent video about taking cats to vets. So if you haven't seen that, we will link it down below and it will be up in the card here as well. We haven't done any worm treatment since we brought them home from the breeder until now. And they haven't had any reaction, but anyway, we found out that we should worm them like every 6 or 12 months because they are on a raw food diet. And in terms of the flea treatment, fingers crossed that's never gonna happen, but we haven't had any accidents.
Yeah, they indoors only,
yet,
but there's still a small chance that you can bring it on your clothing or something, so it is possible. Of course,
it's quite it's a chemical always that you give your cat. So our view is that you should only do it
as and when needed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Has Pixie and Bluebell ever gotten sick?
Touch wood, we haven't had any serious sickness, but Pixie has had eye infection.
Twice.
Or even like 2.5 times.
Thrice.
Yeah. And Bluebell has had a bacterial infection, but other than that, we haven't had any like serious illness.
Do your cats keep you up at night? How do you stop it? Low. Play with them. So we're actually quite lucky because we got them into a nice routine where they get really playful just before they go to bed. So we play with them a little bit, or they play with each other. They run around the house for a little bit, and then touch wood again. They normally sleep throughout the whole night. There is, like odd occasion where they wake up, or they drop something off the counter in the kitchen, but it's actually really, really rare.
Very rare, yeah. We normally have just like great time sleeping because they don't disrupt us at all.
Do you recommend getting a male or female ragdoll? Well, it's hard to say. Just get 2. Get both, it's easier.
It doesn't really matter if you're going to get a male or a female. I think it's totally up to you, and whatever cat you will get, just let them be themselves and you will be absolutely thrilled with them.
Were you excited for Pixie and Bluebell to grow up? Initially, yes, but now that I think about it, I just want them to stay little for as long as possible. Yes. I remember when we first brought them home, I could fit Bluebell on the palm of my hand, but now we have this beast. He just came to say hi, sit on the table, and he is huge. So if you have a kitten, treasure this time, take as many pictures as you can, because they do grow up quite quickly, much like kids. Does your cat tree get loose and shaky after a while, such that you have to tighten it? Luckily, no. We actually invested in a little bit more expensive cat tree, and we don't have that problem. We haven't had it yet, or will we have it? Maybe not, I don't know.
But sometimes if we move it from place to place, we have to just like twist it a little bit more into place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also with our cat tree, which is just behind us, you can like move the pieces. So like if we want to move the hammock the other way, then we have to like tighten the top a little bit. But it's literally when we actually like do something.
Yeah, but I would never call it shaky.
Oh no.
I think it's actually
it's
really
very
stable. Yeah, the whole cat tree, to put it in perspective, weighs over 50 kilograms. So it's actually quite heavy. So when the cats jump on it, it barely moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really good because this is actually quite important. Cats don't like shaky cat trees, so get a heavy one. That's a good indicator of the quality. Like if you look at the website and you look at the weight of the cat tree, that should indicate whether it's a good quality or not. The heavier the better when it comes to cat trees. What's your favorite thing about Pixie and what's your favorite thing about Bluebell?
That's such a hard question. I don't know if I can say like one thing, can you? Okay, I think Pixie head bumps.
Yeah,
she just
head
gives
bumps.
like the cutest head bumps. She just like comes over and just nudges
all the
her
time
face into your face. That's like so cute.
Yeah.
And with Bluebell,
when he runs to the bathtub, when you go to the toilet, he runs to the bathtub because for some reason he learned that when he's in the bathtub he gets petted, so like he just gets some scratches. But the problem is every time I go for a shower, he just jumps in and you know you have to pet him first before you take a shower. So it takes some time.
But he does it like at the right times as well. He mostly does it when Matt actually is going to take a shower, not only when you just like go for a wee, you know. Yeah. I think my favourite thing about Bluebell is when he comes over for a cuddle in the morning. Yeah. And he just, like, in the morning when he's cuddly, he is so, like, heavy.
Yeah, he's a limp, basically.
He just like, comes over and just, like, turns around and just, like, flops on you. And you can literally just cuddle him, like
you can mold him like
animal.
a clay.
Yeah.
Really
just,
cool.
Yeah, so cute. And he purrs as well.
What would you have done differently in the first week of bringing them home? Take more pictures. More pictures.
More pictures with your camera. I've got loads on my phone.
Yeah, we did lots of videos, but we didn't do as many pictures.
Yeah.
Which, looking back now, I wish we had more.
Yeah,
we still have some cute ones, but
aside
I just want
from
more.
that, one thing that I wanted to mention is that what we decided to do was to actually let them be, and I think that's something that I would not change. We did not force them to like be held or like be on the sofa or in the like, you know.
Just give them time, basically.
Yeah, we just let them be themselves and just adjust to the new environment, which I think helped with them trusting us more. So if we picked them up and they wanted to come down, we would just literally like put them down on the floor straight away. And I think that's a good thing to do, to create like a safe environment for your cat and for your cat to feel really comfortable with you.
Do you ever regret getting cats because they are a lot of work? I wouldn't say regret. There is moments when I'm like, oh, Bluebell, just give me 5 minutes because I'm working on something. And obviously this is the time when he wants to sit on the laptop or steal your pencil or something. But I never had a moment when I was like, oh yeah, I wish we didn't get the cats.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have that. I think we were both really aware of how much work it's going to be. And like,
yeah, we both had pets before, so we knew what we were signing up for.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you're ready for the work. Does your cat help relieve stress?
Yes. Definitely, I would say so. When I am stressed, I don't know if they actually change their behavior or I just perceive it in a different way, but when they just come up to you and they just start purring and ask for a cuddle, I think that's just like the cutest thing. And actually, like, it has been studied that petting an animal and listening to cat purr relieves stress, so I can definitely tell the difference. And
there's something about, like, when I'm stressed sometimes, I don't know if this is me just making this up or not, but like, I feel like they sense and they come up to you and they want to be petted then.
Yeah, that's what I meant, like, that I don't know if I just perceive it that way or if they actually do it, but I assume
either way, it helps.
Do. Or also, if you stress and then they just randomly start running around the house and just do stupid things.
And just laugh.
It just makes you laugh so much. We laugh so much at them.
Yeah, even if it's so placebo. Cute. Is it placebo if it works?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Who is more playful, Pixie or Bluebell?
When it comes to like playing with toys with a human, I would say Bluebell. But Pixie plays on her own a lot.
Yeah.
With like random things.
Yeah, she just picks up something really small and just pulls it around the house.
And just starts running, or launches herself onto the cat tree and then to another room and just like runs really fast.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. If you guys were blindfolded and felt the cats, what would stand out about them if you were touching them?
So their fur is actually a little bit different. So Bluebell's fur is a little bit longer, but also a bit more sleek.
It's thicker. Pixie's more fluffy, and like when you touch it, it's more like a cloud. Bluebell is more like a really soft blanket.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas Pixie's just literally like you put your hand, especially on her belly.
Yeah, it just collapses.
Your hand just disappears.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of like just the touching sensation of their fur, we would know.
Yeah, and also the size of them. Like when you pick them up, it's different to pick up Bluebell and it's different to pick up Pixie.
Yes. Bluebell feels like muscles and Pixie just feels like fluff.
Yeah. If the cats don't finish the raw food after you first give it to them, how long do you leave it out for them?
We try not to leave it out for too long, but if we're going to work and we leave food out, it probably will be out for like 8 hours. But then when we get home, we just make sure that we clean the bowls. But also, they don't really eat it after a few hours.
Yeah.
Like
they're quite good at telling when it's good to eat and when it's not good to eat.
Yeah, it just dries and they're just not interested in it.
Yeah. Can you explain the difference between traditional and mink ragdolls?
So it's just the colouring. It is the same breed. Minks are not part of this like traditional line of colourings of ragdolls. So minks are more like solid colours. So you can find like even like brown ones. They are so cute. And most of them are just like full on solid colour. I think I have read somewhere that they are a little bit more fluffy, but I don't know if that's true. It can be different in terms of genetics because, like as we mentioned, Pixie and Bluebell are siblings and one has different fur to the other, so not sure, but it's mainly the colouring.
This one is really good because it totally represents Bluebell. My ragdoll really likes to play with water. Is it the same with Bluebell and Pixie? Yes. So Bluebell loves flowing water. Whenever we open the tap in the kitchen or in the bathroom, he just runs up and tries to drink from it. Also, whenever, like we said earlier, whenever I go for shower, he just goes to the bathtub, and even though I open actually start the shower and pour water, he just stays there and sits, which is really weird, but he doesn't mind getting wet.
Yeah, he doesn't mind.
He sits until he gets a little bit wet and then he runs out.
Yeah, and or if someone's showered already, he can just like jump into the bathtub without even looking and checking if it's wet. Whereas Pixie is a bit different. She would just like come up a little bit, check if it's wet, and if it's not, then she will back off and then jump in. And the same goes for like going out on the balcony as well. If it's raining, Bluebell just like goes out, he doesn't care, and Pixie is very careful.
If she steps in like a little like dot of water, she will hold the paw and won't put it down again, and she's like, I prefer to have it amputated, just get rid of it, get rid of it. That's Pixie.
She's so funny.
Do you have any tips on brushing Pixie and Bluebell's teeth? So actually, recently we've learned that Bluebell needs to have his teeth brushed a little bit more often. So we decided we're going to do a video on this. So stick around, subscribe, and we will follow through shortly. Living in a flat with 2 ragdolls, how easy is it to put in cat furniture/items?
We struggled around Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas is difficult because usually where we would have put the Christmas tree before, well, it's a cat tree right now. Yeah. So we have to be creative, but you just have to make it work.
Yeah, and our flat is just 1 bedroom, so it's not huge, but it is quite spacious for a 1 bedroom flat. But we just planned out where we're going to put things before we got the cats, and it's not really taking that much space. And also, there's so much choice on the market that you can choose things that will actually go well with your apartment, so it won't actually stand out as cat furniture or cat things. Yeah,
cat things, cat items don't always have to be bright green or bright yellow.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Okay guys, so that will do it. That was the last question, and we really tried to answer as many of them as possible. If we missed your question, that probably means that we have answered a similar question in the previous Q&As. Like we said earlier, they will be linked down below, so check them out.
And we will definitely do more videos like this in the future, so make sure you've got your notification bells on, and that way you will know every time that we upload.
As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.